Now, as the Middle East dominoes into violence, President Joe Biden is on his way. His timing could not be worse. Just as he walked up the stairs onto Air Force One, Western embassies in Lebanon were swarmed, and a hospital in Gaza was annihilated. The leader of the Palestinian Authority has canceled his plans to meet with Joe Biden. And now the King of Jordan, an ally, has also just announced that he'll be snubbing the American president. It's been a diplomatic disaster for the Biden administration from the very beginning. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia made Blinken, the Secretary of State, wait for 8 hours before meeting with him. And the administration's refugee safe passageway plan to Egypt blew up in less than 24 hours. Primetime was shocked that President Biden decided to fly into an Israeli war zone as Netanyahu prepares for a historic ground campaign against Hamas in Gaza. We don't see how it's possible that Netanyahu can oversee the launch of ground operations and meet with the president at the same time. Therefore, President Biden's trip will only delay Israel's ability to strike Hamas quickly. Delaying the Israeli war plan only helps Hamas and gives the Arab world time to align and wreak havoc. Is Biden stalling Netanyahu in order to talk him out of a large-scale counterattack? Well, CNN is reporting that Biden will tell Netanyahu to be cautious and be cognizant of collateral damage. Biden's also personally attaching himself to this conflict, and however this shakes out, he'll have serious political ownership of it. And knowing how Hamas's rockets are inaccurate, we pray nothing happens to the president for his sake and for the sake of the country. Now, what the president should be doing is giving Israel his full support from U.S. soil. But we fear Biden's narcissism is propelling him to undertake shuttle diplomacy, like a Secretary of State who thrives on the so-called peace process. This is a dangerous game. We hope Biden isn't being influenced, like he has been throughout his presidency, by the far left.
It is in the interest of every single actor in this region to have a cooling of tensions here. I don't believe that any singular actor wants to see an escalation in violence, an escalation in the volatility of the situation. What's important to note about a ceasefire is that it's not one-sided. Israel does have a right to self-defense. I think what we need to take a look at in this situation is if collective punishment qualifies as defense.
It's not in the interest of Israel to cool tensions. Israel's interested in completely destroying Hamas. The only people who want a ceasefire right now, Hamas and AOC. And this is coming from the same woman who came out against Trump's assassination of Soleimani. This is coming from the same woman who's voted to fund Ukraine's ability to defend itself for as long as it takes. And AOC never said a word when President Biden killed 10 innocent civilians with a drone strike after the Kabul airport attack. 7 of them were kids. AOC said nothing. When there's a school shooting, AOC wants to disarm Americans. But when there's a school shooting in Israel, courtesy of Hamas, AOC wants a ceasefire. Isn't that interesting? And very much like AOC, Joe Biden will make this entire trip to Israel about himself. He'll say he was raised in a synagogue. His son died in Iraq. His helicopter almost got shot down. And I know how you're feeling, folks. I almost lost my Corvette in a kitchen fire.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.